Hi, you're right. In this video, we're going to look at how to find the volume of composite solids. So a composite solid is just a prism, a 3D shape that's made up of two or more prisms put together, or two or more 3D shapes put together. So we can see here in the first example that I have an L-shaped solid, and I want to find the volume of that. So we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. We're going to find the area of the cross-sectional face. So find the area of the consistent cross-section, and then we're going to multiply by how far it goes back, the height. So first thing I need to do is find the area of that orange face. And to do that, it's a composite area. I need to split it into two rectangles. And I'm going to call this area 1 and this area 2. Might just change the color so you can see it. So area, it didn't change. Area 1 and area 2. So now for area 1, I need to ask myself, what shape is area 1? Well, it's a rectangle, so it'll be length times breadth. What's the length of this rectangle? It's going to be 10. What's the breadth of this rectangle? Well, have a look here. It's going to be 6. So it's going to be 60. Now I need to find area 2. So for area 2, I need to look at it again and say, what shape is this? This is what I'm trying to work out, this area here. Well, it's a rectangle again, so it's going to be, you can keep with the yellow, length times breadth. What's the length of this rectangle? Well, it's going to be 6. And what's the breadth of this rectangle? It's going to be 5, which will be 30. Okay, so the total area of the cross-section, the total area of this face here, this whole, it was orange, now I'm coloring it blue, this whole blue face is going to be area 1 plus area 2. And when I add them together, I'm going to get 60 plus 30, so I'm going to get 90 centimeters squared. And now that I've found the area of the face, all I need to do to find the volume, remember our formula for volume is volume equals area times height. So it's the area of the face, this one that we've colored in at the front, this area of this face here, and then we multiply by how many layers we have, so how far the prism goes back. So it's going to be 90 times, how many layers do I have? Or how far does it go back? It's going to be 8, which will give you 720 centimeters cubed. Okay, let's try another example. So in this example, I have a rectangular prism, or I should say a rectangle and a triangle. So let's call this area 1, let's call this area 2, and let's find the area of each one. So area 1, I have to ask myself, what shape is that? Well, that's a rectangle, so it's going to be length times breadth, which is going to be 10 times 7, so 70 centimeters squared. So this is done now. I've done that. Great. Now let's have a look at area 2. The next thing I need to ask myself is, what shape is area 2? Well, that's a triangle, so it'll have to be a half times the base times the height. Now remember, the base and the height are the two that meet at the right angle. So the base and the height. So that's going to be 24 centimeters squared. So now if I want to find the total area of that whole face, it's going to be 70 plus 24. So it's going to be 94 centimeters squared. So the whole face is area 1 plus area 2 will give me the whole area. Now, I'm not finished. The question asked me to find volume. Remember, the volume is the area of the face multiplied by how many layers there are, or by how far it goes back. So in this case, it'll be 94 times 9, which is going to be, I can do 94 times 10, which is 940, and then take away 94, which will be 846. Sorry, I don't have my calculator with me, so hopefully that's correct. You can check that on the on your calculator. Okay, last example. Again, I have a composite solid here, and I've got a cross-sectional face that's made up of 2 shapes. I've got an area number 1 and an area number 2. So let's start with area 1, that's the easy one. Ask myself, what shape is number 1? Well, number 1 is a rectangle. So I'm going to do length times breadth, which will be 8 times 5. It's going to be 40 centimeters squared. Now I'm on to area 2. Now, number 2, that's actually half of a circle. So we did this in area. You need to find the area of a circle and divide it by 2, or you can just do a half times pi r squared. Now the radius, we need to work out what the radius is here. It's going to be 4. So be careful, it's not 8. The radius is from the center to the outside. The radius is only going to be 4, so 4 squared. I'm going to leave this in as an exact value because I don't have my calculator with me. So 4 squared is 16, and half of 16 is 8, so it's going to be 8 pi. That means that my total area is 40, the rectangle plus the semicircle, so 40 plus 8 pi. And you can put that in your calculator and get a decimal approximation if you want. So that means my volume is the area that we just found times the height. How far does the prism go back? So it's going to be 40 plus 8 pi times 12. If you are putting it in the calculator as an exact value, as I have, you do need to actually use the brackets because we want to add these 2 things together first, then multiply by 12. If you don't do the brackets, you'll get a different answer. And once you put that in the calculator, you can get your answer. I will write it as an exact value because, again, I don't have my calculator, so I'll do the 12 times 40 first, which will be 480, plus 8 times 12 is 96. And I can put that in my calculator and get the answer to however many decimal places. 1 is probably enough. It will give me the volume. Hope this video was helpful on how to find the volume of composite solids.